One question is, why do I like you? Anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alan with Great Reviews. And this guy over here, that's my co-host Chris. And tonight we are excited to be with you once again and talk horror movies, share with you our love and passion for that thing that we love and have passion for. How are you, Mr. Chris?
I'm glad we're back. We're back. We had a little hiatus, unscheduled, but stuff happens. Glad to be back. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers to you and to everyone out there in YouTube land as well. We appreciate you guys and hope that everyone has had a great week. Whether you're watching live with us now or you happen to be watching at a later date, we would hope very much that you would join us here on Thursday nights as we go live and talk about horror movies and be part of the chat, be in the chat room. And as we like to call our chatters, the Talking Dead. They don't bite much. They do nibble a little bit because we all like to have a little bit of ear nibble every once in a while. So that's where we're at. So what are we talking about tonight, Miss Chris?
We are going to be talking about Shudder original Random Acts of Violence by Mr. Jay Baruchel. Some may know him from Fanboys. We know him for covering Cabin in the Woods. He was the Scholar and had a wonderful death where he was stabbed in a motorhome.
Yes.
And it doesn't look good for him in this one. He plays an esteemed comic book writer. So we follow him on his path to find an ending. And boy, an ending we may still be looking for.
And apparently he's like Steve Martin in The Jerk, because apparently he was born a poor black child.
And true. This is true. This is it's I'll tell you what, it's a movie.
It is.
I appreciate where Baruchel was trying to go with this. There's a message, and it's a message you and I and any horror fan really have, is that we've heard before.
Yes.
We've heard, if you've ever listened to a politician at some point in the 80s, you've heard this as well. It's the violence in art, horror movies, comics, graphic novels, all of the major media, and how its effect on society. Is it to blame? Is it a reason to cause alarm? All of those things. And this tries to tell the story of this and drops the ball, and I can't. It's over. It's over. Not quite sure.
I'm not sure. And the sad part is there were some aspects of this movie that I truly loved. I mean, truly loved. I loved the use of colors like you would see in a comic book, with the purples and the reds and the oranges and the yellows, where the whole screen was hued that way. And I heard someone who was talking about this, which I thought was a really cool aspect. The coloring in the screen is meant to have these emotions of dread, right? Which is why all the colors that we saw, the primary colors that we saw in these, were also the same colors that all Spider-Man's villains were, right? Because they're all those types of emotions that they pull. So but beyond that, how many of these characters did you like, Chris?
By the end, I was kind of glad everything was on fire.
Yeah.
Nobody really sinks into that mode of Cabin in the Woods. I mean, this is Jay Baruchel coming out and breaking away from just acting, but going back to his acting in Cabin in the Woods. You had a quick synopsis of the jock, the scholar, the loose woman of the group, the stoner. You had all of these mixes, and you, in a short amount of time, you kind of like grew a little attachment to them. If it was just a little quirk they had, a little saying that they had, a contraption they made in order to hide the fact they were smoking something illicit at the time, all of those things made you care about a character, at least at some point. Yes. And at no point, at this point, I was like, what are y'all guys doing? Like, I'm not quite sure. Like, I'm first boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. I think it's
Those
girlfriend.
two. I have a tirade about those two, and I'll get
Oh,
there.
good. I'm
The
glad for this.
the the um the the assistant girl,
Yeah.
who had her head removed at one point,
Yes, the gift.
was the only member of this cast that I actually even cared about a little bit.
A
Um,
bit. A bit.
I didn't like any of them. When I say that I didn't like, I mean I didn't like any of them. The boyfriend girlfriend, their relationship, every scene that they had where there's any kind of conflict, they were gaslighting each other up one side and
Oh
down,
yeah.
and then the very next scene, oh, I love you so much. I wanted them both to fail miserably and die.
Utterly.
Uh,
And then at the end, you get a surprise ending. Spoilers, earmuffs, just kind of go ahead about 15 seconds.
yeah, la
In
la la la.
one, two. Okay, so the breakdown that he was one of the mothers was a victim of the killer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're back. No spoilers. Knowing that as boyfriend and girlfriend, because I think you would could share that with the woman that you're writing about. You're doing a comic book. She's doing a documentary about a thing that is so important in your life.
Yep.
And we didn't find this out until the end. And that's why, you know what? She kind of deserves it.
Well, and the reveal, this particular reveal that you were talking about,
Mhm.
took literally took almost 4.5 minutes to reveal.
Yeah, and it was all through interpretive dance.
Yeah, and it was done through literally you had to have the whole song, the whole Christmas song playing. Which one was it? A Little Town of Bethlehem.
A little town of Bethlehem. Yep.
And it wasn't the groovy fun type. I mean, it was holy.
Old school off the Victrola,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know.
and then in one scene you see the kid sitting at the table, who again is a very young African American, and then next thing you know, the killer standing next to the lead, who's definitely not. I was born a poor black, right? Steve Martin, right? Oh my god.
Right.
Um,
It was just like, oh, I get it.
yeah.
Because there's no like, okay, so this movie goes through a thing where you're expecting an ending. You're
Uh-huh.
expecting an ending.
Uh-huh.
Are these delusions? Are these because these he's very I will say specific when he leaves you in spots that the killer is happening and going to real time with Todd,
Mhm.
that he's like, "Murder." So
Yeah.
you're led to believe are these delusions, and he is actually taking out what he's writing, and you're expecting that ending, and you it's projected from the beginning.
Yeah.
I like the twist, but
But
we
execute.
get this we get these twists through interpretive dance. The cinematography wasn't good enough to truly explain the story. You had to infer heavily, and
Mhm.
you were correct.
Yeah. I will say that my first watch through, when I got done, I was actually kind of like, okay, that was kind of fun. It wasn't anything special. Wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't like I was gonna, send Chris a text. Here was my text to Chris. Have you watched this yet? Question mark.
Right.
I will. Okay.
Very
I did.
vague on this.
I said,
We were
okay.
very vague on our
Okay. Fair enough.
speak. Yeah.
I was actually kind of excited at first because I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. There was okay. Back to things that I loved.
There's a theme there.
Yeah, when they do the comic book theme and they do the colors, and there's some times in
Yeah.
it where they clip to cartoons, and
Yes.
and those cartoons were for me was very reminiscent to a movie that I hold dear to my heart, which is Repo,
Mhm.
the Genetic Opera. So I kind of got that feel for it, like maybe that there was a little bit of a homage there, or at least a little wink, wink, nod to it. So I
Right.
was excited about that, but the rest of the film was so poorly written, and but I was still okay with it. I was like, okay, maybe not a great movie, but one that I would say, hey, maybe if you're for a horror fan, maybe you should check it out. Until, and I meant to write it down to the exact quote, until I heard the quote that was in the press pack that the director was talking about how hoity-toity this movie was going to be,
Mm.
and how it was not going to be, the typical horror film that is so misogynist and against women, and it's not going to be like that. But yet,
Right.
not a female lead in this movie survived. I
No,
mean,
in fact, you could argue they suffered worse than some.
yeah, and it was and she was so poorly written that one second, she's like blaming him, screaming and yelling at him, telling him that this is all your fault and blah 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 blah. And the very next scene, she's like, "Oh, don't! I'm not gonna die in fear because you're with me and I
Right.
love you." And I'm like going, just write her one direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I get the art aspect of this movie, and that's what hit me in the first. Like, it's artistic representation of the true crime buzz, especially now. I mean, it's actually holds more true now, the theme, than it did 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. That crime drama person, the fans of crime drama, the fans of, I mean, we've gotten some crazy movies on Netflix about Dahmer and about, played by the sexy guy. We can't forget old Ed Gein, played by a weird Zac Efron. It's all about his mother.
Yes.
So, and there's a thing where people have really latched onto this, and it's that fandom that makes you go. Now, some people followed that through. Is it because of the art, the media, or is it because listen, as far as I can see, far back as we go, we are one of the most screwed up organisms on this planet.
Yes, we are.
It wasn't just but like 100 years ago, we were running at each other with metal that was really sharp and hoping it was sharper than the other guy's sharp metal. And eventually a bunch of guys won't get hit with the sharp metal and they win. So we're screwed up. I don't think media and art will bring an extra serial killer around. I think a serial killer will show up no matter what. So that's that theme that brings you. It makes you question that. And it's good. It just forgets that along the way to go with other artistic direction, with the feminine that's not going to give in at the end to the killer, and really should have spit that blood at him way before she did.
Yeah.
Just for comfort of trying to get those words out.
Oh, God. So,
yeah.
On my third viewing, because we were actually going to review this movie 2 weeks ago, so I had a couple weeks to digest it before I watched it again.
Absolutely.
And I was just like,
did it change for you watching it the first time? Because this was a blind watch for us. We missed it the first time around.
We didn't know
one of those Shudder things. If you didn't have Shudder, that's the detriment to Shudder. At Shudder, you need more people like us to go into Shudder and watch these movies, and bring them to light. There's some really wacky good ones in there.
Yes, there are.
This one really tried, and I liked it for a lot of the things it tried to do. It just, we get closure. You just don't really get closure on it.
I think the problem is that you get closure at the end, and it leans so hard into the gore aspect of it that you just sit back and go, okay, I got closure. I don't care. I'll never need to watch this ever again. And it's sad because, like I said, on my first watch, I loved the idea of the comic book. I love the idea of the killer copying the comic book. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but I thought, okay, cool idea, right? And the young lady who, if I heard one more person say, I just draw my feelings out, I just draw it and get rid of it, I'm like going,
right.
Come on.
Of course you do.
You know,
there are a lot of tropes in this movie that do get tiring, but at the same time, I liked how they were used. The inept cops, but there's a thing there like that goes above and transcends just them being inept. It's we don't like people like you because you make people like this do things like this, and it's that same message. So it was used properly. I think the ending really puts a good stamper on the Thanksgiving at Leatherface's house.
Yeah,
it sits right there with. I might actually go above. So the true body horror of this movie holds true.
Yes.
One thing I love, I will give you this,
Yes.
is you have a score going on, whether it's ambient music or just background. I like the way the sound stops and you are forced to just watch the visceral stuff that's going to happen in front
Yep.
of you. And it's tasteful enough to be body horror and gross and gore, but not dwell on it long enough. It's a flash that makes your mind go, "Oh, that was
Yeah. The first kill that we got with the knife was
yeah.
I quit counting at 33.
Whoo.
I mean, it was
Oh, it was so visceral. Like that was
and like you said, all the sound stopped except for that, right?
yeah,
And
you are forced to deal with that.
and you're forced to deal with it. So they did really well with that kind of thing. But the problem was is that it was so few and far between, right? I
Yeah.
actually am glad that they didn't show the rest of the murders on that scene. I thought that what they did was enough. We
Yep.
saw the aftermath of it, which was
Yep.
horrifying. We didn't see the second kill, but we saw the aftermath of it, and we were okay with that because it was done artistically well. But
Right.
but everything that happened between the two was garbage,
Yeah.
you know.
It
And
did.
that's where
You know
and
what
that,
it is there, like you said, between the two, there was no real good connection that would solidify what
mhm,
was being said,
mhm.
as well as the artistic, just a story being told. Because I wanted to like the story.
I did
It's
too.
it's
I
a
wanted it so
comic book
bad.
guy. He's trying to figure an end. He's going on a tour. At the end of it, he's going to end a long run comic, and he wants to give it some medicine back. He wants to give it that meta. And
Yep.
me, you know what? Saying that right there. I think this movie is trying to be meta. It's trying to reflect on itself.
I think it's trying to go
And
too hard.
when I reflected back on it, I was more disappointed than overwhelmed
Uh,
or impressed by it. It just kind of was like, oh, that's where they were going, and
okay,
I wanted to like it. I really did.
so just sitting here while we're talking about this and we're trashing this movie, something hit me in my mind, and I want to ask you your opinion on this. Okay,
Okay.
what if the plot, the subplot of the girlfriend writing the same story and writing his coattails wasn't there, and it was just him, his assistant, and his
Producer.
producer,
Yeah.
author, whatever, comic, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. And it was more of a buddy friend movie where all this was going on around them, versus them trying to be all, well, 1 second she's, I'm just trying to tell the story of the victims. No one ever tells the story of the victims. And the next second, this is all your fault. And then the very next second, I love you. And, all,
Yeah.
you know,
She was I will grant her the most unlikable character in this whole movie.
which is horrible.
Not that she's bad acting, I think it's written poorly
Yes,
on where
because
we went with
because
her.
she's good. I've seen her in many
Yeah.
things and was like,
Again, she's been in some good stuff right there.
yeah,
Like
and
the faculty,
yeah,
she was great.
I think she's a good actress. I just don't think that her story arc was so all over the place that it just made it uncomfortable. Maybe not only did I not care, I didn't want to care. I got
When
to a point I just didn't want to care.
she after going and visiting with the police and they clear them like, hey, we know you didn't do this, we checked the cameras, it
Right,
wasn't you,
right,
but I hate you anyway. That's
right.
the cops basically. And she goes away and she turns on him and says, blah blah blah, I blame you for this, for you doing this. And it was like, what the fuck? We just had the cops give us that storyline and give us that feel. You just made it to where, like, if he snaps, not saying it's a good thing, but I understand what the moment that pushed him. It
What
was the woman that was supposed to love him turned on him for the stuff that she's been okay with
There's
up
so many
until
things that I've
this
heard Bill
point.
Burr say that I want to quote right now, but I'm not going to because I like our channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it literally. I think if they would have either done the buddy thing or had her be I think if they would have had her be the sympathetic, supportive
She's
girlfriend.
riding his coattails
Yeah,
and she's upset because she thinks he's riding hers.
right. And
What
and
the
and Exactly. But if they would have had her be like the supportive mother type, right? Where she's like,
Yeah,
I love him. I'm going to support him. I know that he's, and blah, blah, blah. And by the time the movie ended, we would have been crushed because of what happened to her.
because she started off like that. Like,
Uh-huh.
hey, you have a good ending. Believe in yourself. You know what you're doing is good. Why don't you support me in this thing? It's like you're trying to ride my coattails. Why would you do the thing that I've been with you for all these years that has made you tons of money? Because it makes people kill people.
And it's your fault, but yet I love
I
you,
love you.
and
Let's give up
we're
together.
together. That's all that matters. I mean, she was
I like I said,
so many things I want to say, and I'm not going to because anyway,
you want to like where this is going. You really
you do. Oh, you
you want to turn it,
do.
but there's so many points where they just add where he adds something else to it that it detracts from where we were going. I think we fall back into that keep it simple, and I think we got a little too complex
Yep, we did.
with where we were
We got a
going.
little cocky, I think.
Look,
All right, Chris. I think we've made it perfectly
yeah,
clear that we don't
Jay
care for this movie.
Baruchel, love your work. You've done some great stuff. Goon, good stuff. You did the sequel to that. Good stuff.
Yep.
Missed your mark with this one. I wanted to like it though, dude.
Wanted to like it so bad. We're okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being a miserable dredge that made me angry that I watched it. I don't think we're quite that low. 10
No.
being something that transcends the genre. 5 hits all the marks. Where would you put Random Access Memory?
Sadly, it does not. It's not terrible, and there's something here, and I'm just not sure where it is. And I've seen a lot of when you go to Rotten Tomatoes, you do get like back and forth. Oh, I love where the direction. I love the cinematography. Yeah, the cinematography on is this and that, and I think we missed the mark on the cinematography. I just liked where he was headed with it.
Exactly.
So does it hit all the marks? To me, this hit the marks. I did not like the journey there as much as I really wanted to because
Yeah.
it was kind of fresh, old idea, fresh little floofing. It, I'll give this a 5.5.
Oh.
That's I'm being nice, and I think that's because I wanted to like it. There's
It-
something here. It's
I'm
up to
with
you
you.
to find it, bud.
I'm with you. I look at this and I go, okay, the way I do my ratings is I start at 5 and then I add and then I subtract and I add and subtract.
Yeah.
And when I first watched it, I was like, okay, the cinematography is good, the lighting and the coloring is good, the comics good. So I'm pushing 6.5, and I'm thinking, okay. And
Yeah.
then I started talking about the characters and the dialogue and the reveal that took about 4 minutes longer than it should have.
Yeah.
The final scene between the killer, not no spoilers here, but between the killer and our artist, and the dialogue that was that felt like it was written by a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I started. If I go above a 4.5, I'm being generous. And the only thing that would have got to the 4.5 it would have been if we would have followed the one rule, which we didn't have. So this is
Yeah.
a 4 to me.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? We average about 10%, a point below where most people go with this, where the average is. And
Yeah.
it makes sense because it's really a taste movie.
Mhm.
If you like body horror, you're okay with some gruesome gore because there is. And some people said it was too much. I really think it was the right amount of gore
Yeah,
to
I
stick
agree.
with this movie. I wouldn't change that. That was a plus here.
Yep.
And the idea was a plus, and some of the directions we went were a plus. It just didn't pan out. So there's some good stuff in here. I don't say you shouldn't watch it, but if you missed out on it,
Right.
you're not
Uh,
missing. Shutter has got some better stuff out there.
I agree hardly. And then you
This
get
isn't the worst of it out there either.
oh
So
no, there's definitely some more stuff.
there's really bad stuff
There
out
might be some more stuff on our list, and we're not sure. I'm with you on everything that you just said. I really am. I think that I really I went into it blind on purpose. So as the story
Yeah.
was starting to develop and I see where we're going, I was hopeful. I was kind of
Yep.
excited. And by the end of my first watch, I was just like, okay, that was decent. I'm glad to talk to Chris about it, and I think we'll have a good time with that. But the longer I thought about it, and the more I looked into the background of the movie, and then which really put a really bad taste in my mouth, the way the director was just holier than thou with the
I
oh
heard that about him, not on this movie, but that's how he could act as an actor. That he's a little much.
and here's the thing is if someone else connected to the movie would have said all those things because they were praising him, I'd have been like, oh, okay, that's cool.
He produced it, he wrote it, he directed it. There's a lot of pressure there. So
Yeah,
you
but
understand where
yeah,
people come from.
I love Chris to death, but if Chris ever comes to me and goes, man, I am the absolute greatest guest host or host or co-host blah blah blah, and I'm gonna do it this week because I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna look at him and go, I'd call him out on his bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know this guy. If I did, I'd call him out on his bullshit. Go, dude, you missed the mark. You may have tried that, but you didn't
Yeah.
do a good job at it.
Right.
So
Yeah,
so
you can't be that guy. Don't be
no,
that guy.
don't be that guy. So let's put it on the list, Chris.
Let's put this on the list. Let's
we're
well, it's a good starting place for this, sadly.
it's
It makes the list. And I
mhm,
will say it makes the list because I think some people will really like it. I think
mhm.
some people like us will not like it so much. I
Yes.
don't think it's a terrible movie. I really
No,
don't.
I don't either.
I just think the rewatchability of this, which is funny, is what we kind of put into the shit list. And
Uh-huh.
the rewatchability was I watched it 3 times in the last like 3 weeks since we
O-
chose this movie,
Only
and
because you had to.
it got worse each time. I liked this movie less each time I watched it.
Exactly. So
Oh
so uh, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm not putting it dead last on our list,
no,
but
um,
but I
it's
think
better than The Witch.
I was gonna say I think that we're gonna be right about uh
Either side of The Witch is good with me, but I think it's better than The Witch.
I think it's a little better than Horror High.
Um,
And
sounds
the
good.
only
It's
and the
not
only
as good as Ginger Dead Man.
no, it's not. That's the
Come on.
sad part.
That's
I
Gary
I
Busey
had
is our national treasure.
so much more fun watching Ginger Dead Man. The only way I would keep Horror High above it, and I'm gonna leave it completely up to you, was because of Erin Morgan. I thought she was great in that movie.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, we didn't
so
get that in this movie. We
so
didn't.
if you want to
Let's
put
drop her back one.
there you go. Okay, well
Yeah.
we'll call that an Aaron Morgan
This,
bump right
yeah,
there.
an Aaron Morgan buffer. So she did do better. It's better than The Witch.
It is better than The Witch. Only because The Witch was really good until they started doing timey wimey.
And for this viewer out there that I know that'll hit this deep in their heart, it was so much worse than Sharknado.
Yes, it was. As a matter of
Tons
fact,
worse.
at no point in my thoughts on the rating did it come even anywhere in the same place as Sharknado. So,
No,
so,
no, no.
so are we going to lock that one in?
I say we lock that in. Aaron Morgan buffer approved.
Got it. You got it. All right. So here's my question for you. It is the 12th of February. We have
212.
2 reviews left.
Yeah.
Sometime this month, and I would like to do a different style of review if you would like to.
Okay.
I would like to, and we can do it next week or we can do it the last. It's entirely up to you. But for February, being the second month of the year, I think that we should name maybe our top favorite second horror films.
Top favorite
Um,
scenes.
so for example, if someone like me who grew up on Halloween 2,
Ooh,
right?
ooh,
That one may be on my list as one of my favorite Halloween
that's
sequels.
your number twos.
The
We'll go
number
with some
two,
number twos. All
right?
right. I like that. There's some number twos out there that
Yeah.
are.
So we can do that next week, or we can do it in 2 weeks, so we have some time to think about it. It's up to you.
I say we do this We'll announce it right here, right now. Let's do this next week.
You
We'll
got
put
it.
our number twos together.
Number twos. We'll call the show the number twos, and we'll talk about maybe pick 4 or 5 movies that you want to talk about that are your number two, favorite
Yes.
number twos. This will be one of the few times that we're allowed to talk to each other about it, because just simply be like, hey man, this is on my list, right? So we're trying not to duplicate each other, although
Right.
there may be those that we
Got a
have.
duplication that might happen, but we don't want a top 5 list, and which can, like, you guys don't really truly know, but we think alike on a lot of things where we'll be like, here's my top 5. Fuck you, that's my top 5.
I go, dude, I got 4 of those on my list.
Yeah, come on,
And then,
man.
and then he'll go, well, what's your fifth? And I'll tell you, because I should have put that on my list. I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally
Oh,
like,
that's a good one too. I forgot about. Yeah. So
yeah.
there'll be a little interaction back and forth, I think. But yeah, let's do our twos. Let's do
All
our
right, cool. For February, for the second month of the year, we are going to do our favorite twos. That sounds like a lot of fun.
That's gonna
Sounds
be
like a
some
lot
fun.
of fun. And not only that, but then I get to come in and be surprised on what some of yours are, maybe.
I'm gonna keep you hidden because there's one off the bat that I don't think you'll even think of. So yes, I'm down for it.
Interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Chris, is there anything you'd like to say to everyone before we check off?
I would like to say some things. First of all, and as always, if you check in the chat, you can go to bio.link/graverev, and you can find a link to all the links, one link to rule them all. You've got all of their socials, our email, grave reviews, Thursday night frights. Come stop by, reach out to us on any of our socials. You have something you would like to see on the Wheel of Terror, which will spin, I think, next week. And you would think there's a movie that we don't have on there you'd like us to cover. Just speak up, a little comment down there. I like this. I don't like this. Interact with it. Hit the button. Come on, hit the button. Subscribe, ring that bell, toll the bell for when we go live. We try to hit Thursday nights. Sometimes life gets in the way, but it's always Thursday night frights here on Grave Reviews. We love doing the review. Join us live if you're checking us out later on, live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, where you can join in and talk with the wonderful people in here. They don't bite. It's just a nibble. A lot of good stuff in the horror. A lot of movies coming out real soon. Some video games coming out. Hellraiser video game.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks a little Doug Bradley stuff. So yeah, pop in. Tell us what you think about what's coming out, what we should cover next, and till we see you again. Stay spooky, my friends.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologize to LG and to Mar, because we got so excited, but we forgot to play our intro at the beginning, and they both love that, and they like to dance and sing along. So I apologize. We'll be sure to get that to you next week. I wanted to say thank you to Katie. Katie Fucker was in the
Thank you.
in the chat tonight.
Spencer.
Spencer was here. I appreciate you guys stopping in and saying hello to us. We love it. Ladies and gentlemen, until we meet again, please remember to always allow your nightmares to be groovy. Have a great night, everybody. We appreciate you. Thanks.
See ya.